Hang Gliding Flight School is a free educational resource created to share the fun and adventure of flying by encouraging, teaching, and inspiring aviators of all ages. Aviation videos provide a supplement, never a replacement, for face-to-face, in-person training with qualified teachers. Visit www.hangglidingflightschool.com for a map of nearly 40 flight instructors in the USA.
Good day, aviators, and welcome to another episode of Hang Gliding Flight School. My name is Eric, and this episode of Hang Gliding Flight School is part of a series of videos about the myths of hang gliding. There are a lot of strange misconceptions about the sport which can discourage people from learning to become hang glider pilots. So, I thought it would be fun to make a few videos which confront some of these negative preconceptions. Because I believe when aviators remain cheerful and enthusiastic about the future, we can inspire an optimistic outlook, which shall encourage people to embrace hang gliding and help the sport to flourish. So, this video will abolish the myth that hang gliding is full of arrogant jackasses. Now, sadly, this one actually isn't a myth, okay? This one is absolutely true. Hang gliding is definitely full of arrogant jackasses. But if you are an aspiring pilot and more experienced pilots have left you feeling alienated or unwelcome in the sport, stick with me to the end, because I sincerely believe there is a viable solution to this problem. Now, I once met a gracious paragliding pilot who asked, "You're really friendly and nice," he said. "Why are so many other hang glider pilots arrogant jackasses?" And I said, "Well, thank you. You're right. They are. I have no idea why so many hang glider pilots act that way. And if I figure it out, I'll let you know." And you know what? I still haven't figured it out. Why many of these people behave like a mean-spirited clique in high school and undermine the reputation of our sport. Frankly, even if we understood their motives, I'm positive that they lack the introspection to show any repentance. Gaining the ability to fly, like Superman or Supergirl, is one of the most magical and astonishing experiences any human being can have. And you would think living such a wondrous dream would transform hang glider pilots into the most affable and joyful people in the world. I have experienced, personally, incredible kindness and altruism from hang glider pilots. Plus, the hang gliding community has been wonderfully supportive of my hang gliding flight school project. I am deeply grateful for the enthusiasm and encouragement I have received from pioneering individuals and respected aircraft manufacturers. Unfortunately, most pilots can regale numerous stories of snobbish elitism in hang gliding, which has driven countless prospective pilots away from the sport.
A few months ago, I read a comment on a hang gliding forum which said,
"I'm a 16-year-old high school student. I'm not even able to create an account on the USHPA website because I am too young. I want to get training and I want to fly, but none of the schools near me allow minors to train with them. This is just incredibly frustrating for me because nobody wants to teach me, even if I'm willing to pay. It's almost as if you hang glider pilots are gatekeeping the sport. No wonder hang gliding popularity is on the decline. You don't teach us youngins, and paragliding is an easier option. So my question for you all is, why do you make hang gliding so inaccessible for people trying to join the sport?"
I wonder the same thing. That kid is absolutely right. And those teenage frustrations chastising the hang gliding community are completely justified. While teenagers are encouraged to fly through outreach programs in organizations like the Experimental Aircraft Association and the Civil Air Patrol, the cloistered hang gliding community rarely conducts any incentives or curriculum to encourage or recruit the next generation of pilots. Not only are potential pilots often discouraged to begin flying, but novice and beginner pilots frequently quit the sport in their first year or two because the hang gliding community is insufferably stifling and patronizing. Pilots get so frustrated and annoyed, they just leave the sport because it's too aggravating to deal with people who behave like the Muppets Statler and Waldorf, disparaging your every move. If you are a student pilot feeling outcast by the discriminatory sorority and fraternity of scornful hang glider pilots, you are not alone. Whether you are 16 or 56, you will be judged over every decision you make regarding the equipment you buy, the flying sites you choose, your decisions in the air, the way you launch, the way you land, the roof rack you build on your vehicle, the nuances of terminology you speak, where you store your hang glider, even the way you pack up your hang glider and your harness. Everything will be scrutinized and criticized. No matter what you do, these insufferable know-it-all pilots will say that you are doing it wrong. That endless barrage of egocentric condescension gets so exasperating, it sucks all the delight out of the sport. So people quit. Because even though they love to fly, the hassle of interacting with smug hang glider pilots completely ruins the fun. Did you know that some airfields have brass bells in them, and when a pilot has a bad landing, they ring the bell and yell whack to ridicule pilots for screwing up? As a lifelong action sports athlete, of all the social circles I have experienced in my life, from motorcycling to BMX to skateboarding to equestrianism, I can confidently assure you that level of unsportsmanlike denigration is unheard of in other sports. You don't taunt athletes who crash. I don't know of any other sport where it's a tradition to humiliate someone who may be injured. Could you imagine if one of the Blue Angels or Thunderbirds botched a landing and the ground crew yelled out to mock the pilot? Hang gliding squandered decades encouraging a culture which intentionally belittles participants. Then they wonder why more people don't stick with the sport. Check out these astonishing statistics. Among students, hang gliding is 3 times more popular than paragliding. Over 6,000 hang glider students signed up one year versus only 2,000 paraglider students. However, nearly 30% of those paraglider students finished their training and became certified pilots, while only 2% of hang glider students stuck with the sport. When 6,000 people trained to become hang glider pilots and only 150 finished their training, that proves something is inherently wrong with the hang gliding community. If 98% of students dropped out from any other educational program, there would be an investigation, right? People would start to ask, what is wrong with that school, right? What is wrong with the faculty and teachers? Why are there so many dropouts? What kind of culture exists on a campus where 98% of freshmen quit? Now, those Statler and Waldorf gatekeepers, they're quick to criticize organizational politics, or insurance rates, or the expense of equipment, or the loss of flying sites for paragliding.
Ha! Gay!
They will lie to you by pointing fingers and laying blame on countless scapegoats, but they will never tell you the truth and denounce the pompous culture they created. Hang gliding is incredibly popular and has a huge amount of interest. Hang gliding has never struggled to acquire new pilots. Hang gliding struggles to retain new pilots. The hang gliding community has never resolved that problem because the hang gliding community is the problem. That spurned teenager was absolutely correct. Cynics who allege that hang gliding is dying are responsible for killing it.
The derogatory gatekeeper culture in hang gliding needs to die. But salvation for the future of hang gliding rests in the next generation of aviators who take to the sky, because you can spearhead the resurgence of our sport by nurturing a culture of amiable and civilized pilots. You new students, please don't allow your dream of flying to be killed by arrogant jackasses.
I am authentically optimistic about the future of hang gliding because I firmly believe that once the abusive and foolhardy conduct vanishes from our sport, there will be a hang gliding renaissance. When new pilots are made to feel welcome and supported instead of ostracized and ridiculed, the sport will flourish like never before. When we cultivate instructors who are patient instead of belligerent, who are cheerful instead of demeaning, the sport will thrive. We may not be able to improve the attitude of pretentious gatekeepers who discourage teenagers from becoming hang glider pilots, but we can support earnest pilots who have been made to feel shunned and dismissed. We may not be able to eliminate gatekeeping attitudes in others, but we can all make sure that we never behave that way ourselves.
People from every walk of life can become hang glider pilots. Teenagers, moms, dads, grandparents, folks of every race, color, and creed deserve the opportunity to fly. No one should ever be made to feel excluded from the collective and most primal dream of humanity. If someone yearns to become a pilot, personable aviators need to encourage them as much as we possibly can. Be supportive and inspiring. Tell them how to get started. Share your passion and enthusiasm. For those of you who are joyful spirits, you are not alone. There are hang glider pilots out there who are jovial and uplifting souls. Find your tribe, gravitate toward them, and have the confidence to know when all of us unite together, our lineage will foster a positive influence. Remember that hang gliding was invented by NASA engineers, a brilliant man and woman who were literally reaching for the stars. And just like the space program it was born from, it is time we reclaim the sport of hang gliding into the resplendent beacon of hope it has always been. We will welcome new pilots into an equitable hang gliding community, one that does not wallow in the nostalgia of yesteryear, but instead gazes with confidence to the future. One that does not condemn rookie pilots under mockery or disgrace, but instead champions a community where dreams will have wings. This is the new era. Let the Renaissance begin for all those aviators who choose to live our lives in perpetual, childlike wonder, never aching and pining for bygone years, because we cherish living even greater moments in the present. Whether you are 14 or 84, our good old days are happening right now.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Hang Gliding Flight School. I hope this episode has helped you see things in a new way, successfully dispelled a destructive myth of hang gliding, inspired potential aviators to join the sport, and encouraged existing pilots to evangelize. Be sure to check the Hang Gliding Flight School website to find a worldwide map of instructors near you who will train you to become a hang glider pilot. And remember, my friends, in the words of Ray Bradbury, you've got to jump off cliffs all the time and build your wings on the way down.